I got into UChicago with a full ride, and here's how you can get into a top university with a full ride if you're a first-generation low-income student. I'm also an education researcher and have had 6 years of experience guiding students through the college app process, with a good number of my students receiving full or nearly full financial aid from top universities. First, I'm gonna go over my background. I grew up low income. My mom worked as a nail artist and she made under $30,000 each year. So in terms of my stats, I graduated as valedictorian of my class. I went to a large public high school. Most of the students there were low income first gen like me. During my junior year, I took 5 AP classes, and then during my senior year, I took 4 AP classes. And so that helped my GPA, and that also helped to show colleges that I was really serious about my education. What colleges like to see is that you take advantage of whatever educational opportunities are available to you. Not all schools might offer a ton of AP classes, that's okay. In terms of activities, I did normal activities. I did things like Key Club, badminton, as well as ASB, which was fun. I also started a turtle club called Supreme Turtles and Other Animals, but I did not put that on my college applications because I thought it wasn't serious enough. Now I realize that colleges actually enjoy more quirky or unique activities because it helps to show your personality. I was also a really active participant in a college access nonprofit called Maps for College that helped low-income students apply to college and also give us leadership training. During a admissions officer workshop, I got to meet with a UChicago admissions officer. And then I just really fell in love with the school. So I did my own research, and then I got to meet with another admissions officer from UChicago, again through Maps for College. And he was really nice. I learned that he would be the person reading my actual application. So colleges will assign admissions officers to different regions, and they're called your regional admissions officer, and they're the ones who evaluate your application. I asked a lot of questions during that admissions officer session, including why UChicago was renowned as the place where fun comes to die. College essays were pretty hard to write. I met with an essay counselor, and she was like, maybe you can write more about your family story and, sort of like your story of being an immigrant. And so that's when I really started to write more about just what in my mind, the ordinary details of my family life and my family history. And I also started to ask questions about like, where did we come from and why are we in the US? Through some digging, I learned that my family were refugees for 7 years at a Hong Kong refugee camp. So I was like, whoa, this is really cool. I never knew that. I mentioned that briefly in my college essays, but the meat of my college essays was really about the financial struggles that we had growing up and how that helped to foster my creativity and helped me to become thankful for what I did have. I realized that it's the normal details of your life that make you who you are. It's your family, it's like school stuff, it's your friends. And so tapping into just the ordinary details can help to write pretty heartwarming stories. There are these colleges that offer students to meet 100% of their total demonstrated need. So that means that basically they want you to be able to actually attend and not graduate with a ton of loans. Different colleges have different policies. Some will give you financial aid packages where you don't have to take out any loans at all. Some colleges also will have a policy of meeting students 100% of their total demonstrated need, but they will include some loans in there. So to give some concrete examples, I got into UChicago where I got a full ride. I didn't have to take out any loans for my education. And then I got into UCLA, which is a state school. But even though it was a pretty good financial aid package, I would still have to take out $25,000 total in student loans. And I also applied to some liberal arts colleges because I just like the idea of going to a smaller school, having more personalized education, etc. Those schools offered about similar financial aid to UCLA in terms of if I had attended, I would have taken out about $20,000 to $25,000 in student loans. For all of you rising seniors out there, two super big tips that I would give for boosting your app success is first look into a college access nonprofit program or a college access program that you can join. The government gives like $1 billion to these organizations every year. There's just a lot of resources and support that are available for first generation low income students if you look for them. So you can do a Google search to find some organizations around your area. You can also use the NACAC College Access directory to see if there are any organizations that fit your needs. The second tip that I have for a superpowered boost is to connect with colleges if possible. So like I said, I went to 2 UChicago admissions workshops where I found out about the college, and I also built a positive rapport with my regional admissions officer. I continued email communication with him after that admissions workshop, and he was really kind. I would like send him holiday greetings just to like kind of help him to remember me. So when I met him at an admitted student event, the first thing he said to me was, "Helen, I fought for you." There are a lot of opportunities to interact with colleges. You can do a tour of local colleges and see whether you can meet with like admissions officers during that tour. You can also do virtual sessions as well. Virtual sessions are great. There's usually Q&A portion of like an information session where you can introduce yourself, say where you're from, say what your high school is, and then ask good questions and be an engaged participant. Make sure that you do research on these schools beforehand so that you come prepared and you're able to show them that you're really interested in the school. And then send them a thank you note afterwards if you're able to get their email. One thing about thank you notes and any email communication with colleges is that you need to make sure it's typo-free. In some cases, they will actually attach email communication that you send to them to your applicant file. The last thing I want to say is just that for low-income first-generation students, there are more doors available to you than you might think. Getting into these top private universities is hard, but it's not impossible. So dream high and knock on doors that you think are closed to you.